Let's talk about Plato's The Republic. Let me focus on some of the salient features of Plato's The Republic, uh, which is associated with political theory. We can say that the Republic is a kind of thought experiment conducted by Plato so that he could investigate what form would the best political regime would take. And also, it could even be described as the Republic being an investigation on what justice is and what on or how justice could take root in the Republic, which basically lead to people living a good life within the community. So, to start with, Plato tried to debunk different notions of what is just by talking to figures such as Cephalus and Thrasymachus. Plato was able to move away from a more traditional understanding of what justice is. For Cephalus, justice means being pious. It means being or following the will of the gods. If you follow the will of the gods, then you're doing what is right. Then you're being pious. Then you're doing what is moral. Plato moves away from that kind of way of thinking, right? And then later on, Thrasymachus also claimed that justice is the interest of the stronger party. Justice being the interest of the stronger party basically means that it is the people who exercises or wields power within a political community that basically decides what is just or ultimately decides what is right. Say for instance, in a tyranny, the tyrant decides what is right, what is moral, what is permitted. It's ultimately decided by the tyrant. In an oligarchy, it's the elites that decides what is right. In a democracy is a kind of system that allows the people whom in the mind of Plato are unruly, mob, uneducated, uncivilized. They are dictated by their basest passions and appetites. And democracy is just simply a government or a regime that allows the people to pursue whatever they want. So basically, there's no self-restraint. That's why for Plato, democracy is the worst form of government. But you see, for Thrasymachus, looking at these types of governance basically allows us to think that what is right and what is just is dictated by the stronger party. Plato debunks that. How did he do it? In the Republic, Plato, of course, speaking through Socrates in the Republic, made mention of ruling as an art. He made an example of professions, right? Professions such as the practice of medicine, all sorts of profession out there. Socrates said that all these professions or trades or craft or art is basically rooted on serving the interest of another. And it's not rooted on serving the interest of the party doing it or the stronger party in that instance. For instance, medicine. You practice medicine because, or if you're a doctor and you practice medicine, you're doing it for the sake of another because you want to heal someone, right? All arts, all trades and profession, they have their own object. They are directed to something other than the self, other than the one performing the activity, right? Let's say if you're a carpenter, you're building these things in view that you're being hired by someone to perform these things for them. So in a way, you're serving their own interests. Right? If you're a builder, you're building somebody else's house. You cannot build your house forever. So the point of Socrates in this discussion is that all professions, they tend to lead to serving the interest of another. Not just simply serving the interest of the person performing the activity. And the same goes for ruling, because ruling itself is an art. So it's a direct affront to what Thrasymachus is saying, that justice is serving the interest of the stronger party, right? Or serving the interest of the ruler. Because for Socrates or for Plato, ruling is an art, and therefore it is always directed to the interest of someone else, and not the person doing the art, or not the person performing the activity. Right? So you see, Plato is trying to move away from this traditional understanding of what is justice and what is the, so to speak, real politic understanding of justice, because Thrasymachus, representing the sophists, were able to observe many polities, many cities. They were able to deduce that justice is the interest of the stronger party. But Plato is moving away from all these definitions. He wants a deeper investigation of what constitutes justice and how can justice arise, not just in the society, but also in the individual soul. But since justice is something that is very complex, Plato knew that justice arises in the individual soul, right? But nevertheless, it would be fruitful for them, according to Socrates in the Republic, to discuss first the society, because there is parallelism between the individual soul and society in general. The Callipolis, Plato would call it, the Republic, or the just city. And so here comes Plato's understanding that in a just city, there are three classes. But how did these three classes come about? We'll discuss it in the next video.